Okay, we just finished up washing the car. Now the next step I'm gonna do is clean it more. Just when I thought it was clean, it's not exactly all that clean. Now this is called a Nano Skin sponge. I'll have to look it up again. I know Nano Skin was in the name. This is like a rubber material. So what this does, this would technically be called clay barring. This is clay, actually. So what you do is when the car is wet, when the paint is wet, you would take your clay and you'd rub it around, or this, rub it around. Excuse me. And what that does is it removes all the dirt and grime that regular washing has not done. All the dirt and grime that's built up onto the paint of the car, or the clear coat rather, over the time since this last been clay barred. It's probably the term I'll use is clay barring, because this is clay. This is a nano skin sponge. This will get dirty and you can't clean it. Or you just form it again. You can shape it and then you'll use it again. But you can see this one, I used this on my rims last year. It's a little dirty. I didn't use too much. I think I threw out a chunk though. This, however, you can rinse. The dirt and grime will get stuck in here, like tar. I might be able to show that later when I do this. I might pick up a piece of tar and you might see it in here. And I'll work it in a bucket of water, and it'll actually come out of this. So this, I think online it was saying you could use it up to 25 cars. This one is probably 2 years old and it's a little discolored, and I'm probably not going to use it today. It actually got some like cardboard stuck in it, but I'll just use this one. And there's two different grades. There's a red one, there's a blue one. One's finer than the other. We can think of this as like sanding. Alright, when you sand something, if you use a low grit, like, I don't know, 80 grit, that's removing the paint at that point. But then you follow it up with a finer grit, like 220 or something, and it's a little smoother. This is really, really fine. Maybe I'm technically wet sanding the car. But the point of this is to remove all the dirt and grime that you can't see necessarily, or you wouldn't even know that's there. We're making a smooth surface, a clean smooth surface, so that when we apply wax, like my Maguire's wax here, or the gold class, the smoother the surface, the better the mirror finish or the shine of the car, of the paint job. If it's all rough, then you won't get a really quality mirror finish. So that's the point of doing all these things, and that's the point of also polishing as well. You're supposed to compound. You learn how to hold this camera better. Let's see, can you read it? Ultimate compound, ultimate polish. This is also liquid wax. I have a DA Maguire's polisher here. It's MT300. The light is a little too strong. Oh, it's on its lowest. Okay, anyway, here's the pads I have for the DA polisher. This would be your compound. This is a pretty rough pad. What this does, after we do this, we get the surface nice and clean. We could do this. Now I've already done this to this car, so I'm not going to do it again, because I don't know how thick the clear coat layer is on the paint, which that's another thing. So clear coat, when you look at the car or painted object that's automotive, I guess, anything with clear coat, what you initially see is clear coat. It's clear and it sits on top of the paint. Right. The clear coat is what protects protects the paint color underneath, and is also what it gives it its depth, its shine, its glossiness. So the point of wax, when we wax a car, you're putting wax on the clear coat to protect it. I can show you a bad clear coat on this car. You can see here it is fading and wearing away. So this is where the clear coat was really thin and it started to wear away. Now the true paint color is revealing itself. It's actually gotten really worse, and over here is really bad. I tried to save this and it didn't exactly work. It probably needed clear coat, but yeah. So that kind of explains like clear coat. Clear coat's a layer on top of the paint. It protects the paint. It gives it this gloss, this shine. So what we do, when you get a scratch, like a small, very thin scratch, a way to test how deep the scratch is to wet the car. If the scratch kind of goes away, then it's most likely only in the clear coat. So you'd use this pad from Maguire's, a cutting pad, to cut the clear coat. You're kind of like sanding it down, I guess, in a way you could say, so that you go to get the clear coat at the same level as that scratch, removing the scratch at that point. Now if the scratch goes all the way through the clear coat, through the paint, there's not really much you can do. Like I got a rock chip, right? I got a rock chip here. I don't know how focused it is there, but you can see bare metal, you can see some primer at the top, and then my paint around it. There's nothing I can do besides what I did here. This was a big rock chip that I had, where I actually filled it in with some touch-up paint. I have a touch-up paint kit with some clear coat. You apply it with a brush. That would be the only way you could do that. Now the point of the polish here, the polish you use this little pad, yellow, is not as aggressive as this one. So if you got those really small scratches, maybe you don't really need to cut the clear coat as aggressive. Use this one, and you can remove, certain, like even says on the bottle, swirl marks. Whereas this one cuts as fast as harsh abrasives. This one's a color and clarity restorer. This one's a pre-waxing glaze. So since I've already used compound on the car, I'm not going to do that today. With my mirrors fading as bad as they are, I'm concerned about how thick the clear coat layer it is. I don't know if the car's ever been compounded before in its life besides me, so I don't want to do it too many times where I actually really thin out the clear coat and then I'll just have a really bad paint job. So I'm just going to keep it at polishing from here on out, unless I get a scratch that really bugs me and I really need to get it out. This black pad is for liquid wax, right? It's your finishing pad. The point Meguiar's had with doing this was to make it pretty fast, and it's pretty fast. I might just be old-fashioned. I don't know if can I open this? I can't. Okay. There's a little applicator pad in here for the wax. You'll see it later in the video, and I apply it in small circles on the paint, applying the wax in small circles on the paint. Whereas with this, I would just put the product on the pad and then run it around the paint, and then I can wipe it off. So it is faster. However, I think I'm kind of traditional, so I like to do it this way because I can easily see that I actually got wax on the car. Whereas with this, I didn't really feel like I got it on the car. Now I think I have enough to show you guys, so you guys can see how it works. Yeah, so first step is we're going to start doing this, and then we might go into bug car remover. So I got bugs on the front bumper. I don't know if I got them all off in the washing cycle. Hopefully I did. If not, I'll have to use this. I don't have much of it, as I have this Rust-Oleum wax and tar remover. I've used this last year compared to this, and it seemed to, I don't know, it did the same job. The only difference is that I can spray this one on, and this one is more of just a, dripping bottle. So let me get you set back up on the tripod over here, and we'll start on the roof. Probably see that I just soaped the top of the car where I'm going to be working, because another important thing is with this and clay, you want it to have lubrication so that you don't scratch the paint when you're removing this dirt and grime. Okay, so now that I'm ready, I'm going to see if I can get you closer to the roof and give you a good view. Looks like that's the closest I can get to the roof. So we're gonna start here, right here on the side.
Hey, I figured I'd hop in here. You can see me moving the sponge against the bodywork there. I don't really feel like I explained this well enough. What's going on here is this nanoskin sponge is removing little specks of dirt, grime, tree sap, you name it, little contaminants that are on the clear coat that you might not necessarily see.
Okay, so I just got done with the pillars to the rear quarter panel on both sides. I did the roof. Now we're going to do the whole front end. I'm going to show you that real quick. Might go into a time lapse for the doors and the trunk and rear bumper. let's see if I can show you guys some more things.
Hey, just wanted to hop in here. So as you do this, this is true with clay bar and this nanoskin. I've heard it several times. As you work it back and forth, you might all of a sudden hear a high-pitched click sound, a sharp click sound. In person, you can't hear it in the video. That's actually debris releasing from the clear coat, and it would now be in your material that you're using. And it might be time to, dunk it into the water, kind of clean it out a little bit. Also, I wanted to ask if any detailers are watching this video right now. I'll have little brown, rust-colored spots on the clear coat, and it comes out when I do something like this. Just wonder what that is. I'm not too sure what it is. I don't know if it's just some type of sap from something or what it is. So if you can let me know down in the comments, I'd appreciate it.
Now, as I do this, you might notice that I'll pause and I'll stop at an area and I might work that sponge around a little bit for a little while. And that's because I will see something. I'll see like a black speck that's tar from the roads that's stuck on the paint. And this nanoskin does a pretty good job of removing that. Sometimes they're pretty big and pretty stubborn, so then that's when I break out the bug and tar remover. You'll also see me move my hand around on the paint. That's me seeing how smooth it is. Now, that's not the best way to feel that. If you look that type of thing up, you'll see a lot of people use a Ziploc bag or something. They put their hand in a bag and they'll rub it across the paint to hear it, to sound how gritty it is. With my nanoskin and this car, just use my hand even when it's wet. Is fine. I can tell it's pretty smooth now, so when I do go to polish and wax it, it's gonna be nice and smooth.
As you may notice here, I'm always working my weight from the top down on this car, and I mentioned this earlier in the video, maybe the past video, that you start cleaning from the top and you work your way down. And the reason why I do that is the top is never as dirty as the bottom. My front end usually isn't as dirty as the rear end, so I'll start with the roof, do the sides, do the front, and then I'll finish off with the trunk and the sides. And when I do something like this where I'm clay barring, I find that right below that door trim guard there on the sides of the door, that's where the most tar is going to be built up and where I have to spend most of the time. Now, Others will say do a panel at the time, and I can see why do a panel at a time, because if you don't have enough time, you do want to make sure to get wax back on the car. Except before just driving around, because like I said before, the wax is there to protect the clear coat. Doing this can remove the wax, so you definitely want to make sure you have enough time to put wax back on. But for me, I knew that I would have enough time. I've done this so many times with this car. I knew I would have enough time in the day to do the whole car, so that's why I do it in that order.
I don't know if you can see that in there. There's a bunch of debris. Now, I changed the water. I did change the water when I was doing the rear bumper. So a lot of that is actually from the bottom half of the rear bumper and the side skirts on both sides of the car. That's how dirty it can be. But yeah, so we're gonna wash it again, and then I'll get back with you.
I can hear you asking. Yes I do. I wash my car a lot. I typically wash my car once a week, and I've had the car for 4 years. Just washing it one more time to make sure it's all nice and clean. There's no more water spots, no more soap spots, right before I wax it. Not sure what happened to the audio here. I do have an external microphone connected to the Hero 5 Black that I am recording on. Probably knocked it and wasn't exactly connected right. You can see my rust spot there. Some of the little chips on the side skirts. That kind of seems to pick up more on camera than it does in person, honestly. And also I think putting on wax kind of hides those specks there. You can definitely see how shiny it looks. It always looks pretty shiny. But I'm just kind of giving it a once over, seeing if there's any areas, now that it's dry, I did dry it, if there's any areas that have scratches that I would like to deal with the compounding pad, or if I'm just going to do a finish. You can definitely see all the blemishes, little spots in the clear coat there that I think is just the quality of the clear coat. Nothing I can really do about it. I don't think it's anything I've done to the car. It's just a blemish that was in the clear coat from when it got painted, back in 2008. As I'm watching this, things are coming back to me. There's a scratch here. I turn on the light. You can kind of see it. You see a glimpse of it there. It's probably from a trash can. We keep the trash cans close to where my car is parked, and I think that's probably how that scratch appeared there. It's not deep, it's just in a clear coat, so we'll see in, I think, the next clip here. I'll use a compound paint pad and I actually buff it out, and it actually came out, which was awesome. I'm probably just going to go ahead and end this clip here since I don't have any audio.
I got the compound pad on. It's just Velcro, which is pretty cool. Now I got a brush here. Probably a good idea to make sure it's clean first. This is a way to clean it. If you're going to do it before this one, I'm not going to use this pad enough. This polishing pad though, I'll use enough that I'll be able to kind of clean it. But your idea is you'll turn it on, and as it's spinning, you'll press down and you'll just force the brush outward. That's there. Still stands. I've had these pads. I think about this 2019. So let me know. Okay, I'll go ahead and place it. So when I'm done with the car and I've actually, hopefully you can hear me. When I'm done with the car and I have used these pads, what I'll do is I'll rinse them in the sink with just some water, and I'll just squeeze them out, try to get them as clean as I can. To all the, like, you'll push this and you'll just see the compound come out. You'll end up with more compound on your pad than you really needed for the car. Okay. Gotta make sure to shake it. Okay. I can see the scratches. There's two right here. So I'm going for it, and it looks like I got more rock chips now too. That's the sad thing about this year is I'm finding all these different rock chips that have accumulated to 4,800, and so is yellow. Yellow is the same. The black pad is at 3,800. Kind of want to spread everything out here. I think that looks pretty good, actually. Yeah, the scratches were here, and I think they're gone now. At least they're hidden. Can't see them too much anymore. Okay, cool.
Some detailers might yell at me here. Looking at it now, I really put a lot of product on those pads, and I think the technique is to do like a star kind of dots on the pad. And the reason why I put so much on initially is to get the pad going, because the pad's going to absorb a lot of product. But that might be something I'll change in the future here, is how much product I put on initially, because in person it didn't seem like that much, I guess, but I don't know. maybe I was a little tired, and I decided I want this done.
You can already feel that it's smoother just because it has a polish on it.
This panel reminded me, since I have that rust there, anytime you're dealing with a panel that has some rust or some type of blemish where the paint is chipping off the panel, do be careful around those spots. Don't exactly go over them too much or at all, just to avoid the risk of actually making it worse, because the pad might grip that spot and then chip off more paint, which is something that you don't want. Something I want to mention here is when I'm using this DA polisher, I'm not using a lot of pressure. I'm not pushing the machine hard onto the paint. I'm just kind of letting it rest on the paint. That's definitely easy, obviously, when you're doing something like the hood where it's horizontal, more or less. But when it's something vertical, you kind of have to use your own judgment of how much pressure you put on. You do not want to force it on with a lot of force, because then you could probably risk damaging the clear coat, maybe more scratches, more harm than good. So I just let kind of the weight of the machine press against the car.
be darned. I think I'm ready for waxing now. It's already pretty smooth. I haven't done anything with the mirrors. Don't judge me. I think it looks better in person than, or in camera than in person. I can see some hairline scratches, but they've been there for a long time. Even when I compounded, when I first got this car 4 years ago, they've been there. I think that's pretty good. There's a mark there. So the time lapses in today's video, I've been filming on this GoPro Hero 7 Silver, which when I bought it off of eBay as a bundle, and the guy that sold it to me thought it was a white for some reason. Well, no, it's a silver, which is great for me. I mean, it's a better GoPro than what I was expecting. Now in the bundle, I got, you know, the stick here. Can you see it? And I realized when I was trying to set everything up that this piece was broken. You see the white there? That is JB Weld plastic. It's been working great. But then I just realized something today. So I was walking around Cross Creek, which you'll see that video hopefully soon, and I could hear, oh, it just gets worse. I could hear creaking from this thing. I was like, great, what's going on? Well, the plastic is now cracked there and up there. Ooh, I just popped it back in. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to have to pull out the plastic weld again and try to fix that before it breaks more. I don't know how much this thing costs, and I don't feel like buying a new one. Anyway. I might not have enough for the hood. Oh. Okay, gotta set it to 3800, and I got some liquid wax. I don't have much more. I have enough just to demonstrate. Let's see. You guys see? Oh, no. Now? If I turn this down. I think it's better without it for right now. Anyways, I'll wait for the brown to prepare the face wax. Okay, so you can see the differences there. You can barely tell that this is there. It's not exactly dry yet. Once it dries, then we buff it with a clean towel, microfiber towel. We'll buff it clear, and then it'll be waxed. That's all. That's all it is to do waxing. That's all it takes. What we'll probably do now is set you back up on a tripod. I'm gonna wax the rest of the car while we let this and this dry, and then we'll come back around and we'll buff it. Okay, let's see how this buffs out. No! Oh no. I'll just have to get a new one. I think it feels the same. These should really both be the same wax, I believe. But yeah, look at that. Nice and shiny. Now I just gotta buff the rest of the car, and it will be ready for another year. It has been over a year since the last time I waxed this thing, so it's much needed. Okay, I'll probably just pick you guys back up once I'm done. Okay, I got the car buffed a little bit. Well, actually all of it, I think. I think I've done it all now. Now, if you guys were paying attention, what you might have noticed is when I was using the DA polisher, and even when I was putting on the wax, I would get close to the edge or go over the edge. I didn't really care about the edge. When you are using a machine, a DA polisher, you want to be careful with the edge. That can be the most sensitive point of the clear coat, so you don't want to cut that too deep, because then you could go right through to the bare metal. Haven't had that happen yet. I'm always careful on pressure when I'm next to the edge, but the other thing is that you can get all your wax or your polish, it will get into the edge and it'll dry and it'll be all white. So what I do, I used to, for a few times, like these headlights were really easy to remove. I would just take out one pin, pull out the headlight, and that'd be gone. The tail lights and other trim I would put tape on, painter's tape, but instead what I've been doing, I just been using a Q-tip to clean out the crevices, the seams, all the different things, like the black trim here. I've hit that with the DA polisher and the wax, so I just use a Q-tip and I go between the seam there and clean it out. Looks pretty good. I'm going to find areas that I did not buff, especially as it's in the sun. It'll probably take a wash or two before I can find them all, but it's better waxed than not. I'd rather have wax on it than not ever do it, and our acidic rain completely tears away my clear coat even faster. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to treat the glass. You might know about Rain-X. Rain-X is great. I have their window cleaner with the Rain-X. In fact, let me get the bottle. So here are my two products for my windows. Rain-X 2-in-1 glass cleaner plus rain repellent. This stuff's really nice because, one is, I think, relatively cheap. I bought it at Walmart, I believe. And two, it's really easy to use. I feel like it doesn't streak very easily, I guess. And it has great results. Going over 55 and the water's just beating off of your windshield, with barely needing your wiper blades, is always really awesome. This takes an hour to dry, so they say, for best results, give it an hour after applying before rain or water touches the windows. Now the Adams polishes glass sealant, I don't remember how long they say to not let it get wet. I feel like for some reason it's like 24 hours. I don't remember, and I don't think it says on this bottle. I tried looking. I feel like this is the more legit way of sealing your windows, whereas this kind of like a quick easy way, and this is like waxing a car versus using a quick wax, in my opinion. Now to clean my windshield, like I'm gonna use this today since I went ahead and waxed it. I'll check the weather. I don't think it's supposed to rain tonight, and I'll use this. I'll use the Meguiar's Perfect Clarity glass cleaner. I think it's a really great cleaner. I think the only thing with it though is that it doesn't, it's not any type of degreaser, which is the best thing. Like for me, I don't want to completely strip my glass of all its waxes and whatever that's on it, but if I needed to, this really is not that harsh. The one thing I've never ever tried, and is something that I didn't know you could do, and when I learned that you could, I didn't want to venture into it, is that you can, you know how I clay barred this here and I use the Nano skin. Apparently I can do the same idea here. I don't know if it's a different type of clay than will be on the car, but I can. Now this is pretty smooth. Well, I guess that's a lie. It's good enough. I've had great results with this, because this, 55 miles an hour on the highway, water's just flying off your windshield. It's amazing. Okay, so I'll probably set you up in the tripod and we'll do the windshield. Okay, so I got my clean towel here. I just kind of folded it. They want you to just do drops onto an applicator sponge, but I don't have a sponge. I just have this towel. The biggest thing is to just be even with it, and luckily you should be able to see it. I can in person. Just want to go up and down. And then back and forth. You're trying to get it evenly covered. Might be my biggest gripe with this thing is that it's really hard to get it to not streak the first time, because you gotta let this sit like this for a little bit and then you gotta buff it out just like wax. And usually, sometimes, I don't know, I guess maybe most of the time, I have streaks. Well, I think you guys get the idea. I'm gonna do that to the rest of the windows. Okay, I think we're finally done, which is good because I'm starting to get tired. Check it out. I buffed the windows, by the way. Towel just kind of glides. You can fall. Even on the hood here, it's not too bad. It really is like baby smooth. You can barely hear my hand go across the paint. So, hopefully we all learned something today. I got more practice in using all my stuff. Good old D8 polisher. I think this thing was like 150 back when I bought it, like 3 years ago. It's not too bad. It's a good little machine. Definitely helps a lot. Fun fact, I used to have a 2003 Cadillac CTS, and back in, like, I don't know, 2017 or 2018, I had polished it. I can't remember if I had the DA polisher. I don't think I didn't. I didn't have it yet. But I did such a good job that a guy at Advance Auto, when I stopped there to get rid of some oil, he asked me what year the car was, because he couldn't recognize the body style. And it looked so shiny. He was like, it looks like a new car. I was like, well, thank you. And that Honda Pilot out there, couple years ago, I did the same thing, but I had the DA polisher, and a oil change guy, the shop we go to often, he was like, he hopped out of the car and he was like, did someone just detail this? Because I literally just did that day. And I told him, I was like, yeah, I did. He's like, well, you did a great job. I was like, well, thank you. So I'm very glad to be able to share this information with you guys. Maybe it'll help you guys out. I know when I was looking to learn how to do more detailing, like how to get more involved in it and learn more, especially for a daily driving car, not a, you know, several tens of $1,000s vehicle. This is much cheaper now. There wasn't really that many YouTube videos out there at the time. I think now there's a lot of YouTube videos. I think it's pretty saturated, but I don't know if there's like one YouTuber that has gone through it step by step in this fashion. I'm not too sure. There probably is at this point. It was years ago when I looked, and I had to find several different YouTube videos to understand what they were talking about and what to do, even though it's really simple. I had no idea what clay barring was, and I still haven't gone into that yet, into actual clay, which I probably will when I do the rims. Only reason why I don't use a nano skin is because I don't want to fit that sponge in there. So I might make a separate video on those, because I ain't doing it today. Tomorrow's video, well, not tomorrow for you, but tomorrow for me for recording, I'm going to record doing the interior. Everything I've learned with interior work, it really needs a good clean. So that might be an interesting video. Might be good. It's probably gonna be short. This one's probably really long. It feels really long. I've been out here, I think it's like 6 something now, and I started at noon. I'll put some tire foam on. I'll probably do that tomorrow, because if I end up doing the rims tomorrow, I don't want to put tire shine on there and then just remove it. Okay, I think that wraps everything up. Oh, I do want to remember, I have this Maguire's Ultimate Black. Now, it's okay. I'm not impressed by it. I feel like it just wears off. But if you are a follower of Motion Auto TV, he is selling his own detailing products now. He had one for trim black. I can't remember what it was called. It might have been literally just trim black. I don't remember. Well, I have a bottle unopened, and I'm going to try it someday on my plastic and see if it kind of rejuvenates it, because you can see it's kind of rough. Especially this side. See. Now, I've used the Maguire's Black. I think I did it on this one, and it helped. This was like a year ago. I think I did it for 2 years. It helped, but it's hard to say if it did more help than good. I feel like it just wore off completely, and even when I put it on, I mean, like, it looked black, but it wasn't amazing. I also need to do it on the trim here too. Otherwise, yeah. And this I'll be interested to see if the Motion Auto's product can make this black again. And my little wiper covers, they're kind of gray. The light might be blinding you. Okay. Well, let me pull this thing out so we can get a look at it in the daylight without this light, and see how shiny it got. It's the next day here. You can probably tell it's a little sunny. Very sunny. No. It's the next day because yesterday I did the wash. I washed the car and I polished it and waxed it. I tried looking at the clip that I had to close out the video. It was bad. I looked pissed off, and I wasn't annoyed. I had fun doing this because it's something I actually enjoy doing. Making the car nice and shiny like it is, even though now it's all covered in pollen. But yeah, if you liked what I did yesterday with the polishing and waxing, and even the video prior showing how I washed the car, hopefully I gave you some tips and tricks that maybe you didn't know, maybe you'll use on your own vehicle. If that is the case, let me know down below. I'd appreciate knowing if I helped out anybody. That was the point of the video, was in case someone wanted to know, and I could show what I do, and got this result that I think looks pretty good. It's nothing show quality. It is just a everyday driver. It's a daily. It's got 165,000 miles on it now, and it's an '08, so I can't really expect too much out of it. But I think for how it looks now, I think it looks pretty good. So if you like what I do, hit a like, maybe subscribe, because I should be posting more content with this car, hopefully in the future. Take care.